So, hello, cybersecurity community, everyone who interested on cybersecurity, entry-level specialists, professionals, students, and everyone who came to this interesting conference. So, today I will talk about the role of cryptography in malware development and considering results of an unusual research I conducted during the last 1 year. So, little bit introduce me. It's not me. It's me. Yes. So I'm a malware analyst and threat hunter and malware researcher, cybersecurity enthusiast. Also contributing some projects like Malpedia and sharing my knowledge during the years via my books. So let's start. Today, first of all, I will talk about malware protection, a little bit introduce some techniques and tricks which malware authors used for protecting their applications. Then I will consider about malware and how you can use cryptography for hiding malicious actions, malicious payloads from security solutions. And finally, I just share my last research about simulating ransomware and trying to decrypt some victims of ransomware, like Black Cat ransomware, Hello Kitty ransomware. So cats are more than only, not only cats in cybersecurity and also in ransomware today. First of all, okay, defensive cryptography, yes. Traditionally, cryptography used for securing your information, your data, or privacy from unauthorized individuals. And many of us used cryptography for protecting communication, also for encrypting for example, communication between servers, between infrastructure, protecting and encrypting data, and other solutions like PGP, mail, and something else. So, defensive cryptography traditional is like balance between what's possible and what's acceptable, because you cannot cannot encrypt everything, cannot secure everything. But bad news is nowadays, cryptography also used as offensive instrument, not only red team operations, not only pen testing, also used for developing malware and using adversaries for protecting and hiding their payloads and assembly code. Okay, malware authors try to create a full undetectable malware. Antivirus solutions easily to bypass, and you can easily bypass security solutions, EDRs. It's some sentences when you can hear every day if you interested on malware research and antivirus researching. So I also ask myself, hey, really, is it really too easy to bypass antiviruses and EDRs or some another security solutions? And I just concluded that the classic tricks is divided to these three concepts, three main basic concepts to hiding your malware from security solutions in your red team operations, pen testing, or some another educational and research purpose, of course, only. The first one is time distortion tricks. It's simple, just trying to evade some virtual machines, sandboxes, like using sleep, a get tick count, and trying to distortion timing when you run your malware. The second one is Win API obfuscation and hiding. What does it mean? It's obfuscation Win API functions and hashing using some syscalls, using hiding your calling Win API functions from import address table. And the last one is, of course, encrypting and encoding payloads and assembly code. So, for example, what does it mean when we say hashing API calls? Sometimes good malware analysts, good security engineers and reverse engineers can detect any malicious actions from by analyzing import address table of your malware. For example, just in case, in this example, you can show that you can see that message box is detected from import address table of user 32 DLL. What's the problem? The problem is security analysts also can find another actions and can detect malware capabilities from import address table. For example, if you found something like regopenkx, you can you know that your malware have capability for working with Windows registry and try to manage registry, try to create a new case. And another one is, for example, if you found something like vs232.dll in your import address table and found some functions like sleep, virtual alloc for allocating memory for your payloads. It's a problem, but what's the solution? The solution is calling Win API by hashing. When you use some hashing algorithm, for example, something simple or maybe something complex like base64 or something like murmur hash, for example. Murmur hash is also used for in real life malwares and real life ransomwares like Conti, like Black Cat. And finally, just hiding this from import address table. As you can see, we cannot see user 32 DLL from address table in this case. And of course, just hiding function names also, for you can't find a message box from by hex dump or something like strings also. What about payload encryption? In this case, the main concept is the same. The only difference, you try to hide your payload, your assembly code. For example, let's say we have something like this, or any payload, any MSF Venom or another payload. Maybe in this case, it's just a message box payload. And just in case, it's let's say it's malicious. Okay. For protecting this from static analysis, we can just encrypt it via something like XOR or maybe RC4 or maybe advanced encryption standard or anything else which used by malware actors and malware authors, and also these algorithms used in real life malwares nowadays, like ransomware, or also droppers and malwares and keyloggers also. What's the trick? Just dynamically decrypt it. Decrypt it in just in case. In this case, or I just show only the XOR algorithm, but in your case, you can use any of them. So finally, just run decrypted payload. As a result, it's worked, and in most cases, this trick is bypass many security solutions like Windows Defender, Kaspersky. Of course, in most cases, it's not bulletproof trick and bulletproof technique for fully bypass security solution ADRs. For example, if you have some heuristic analysis or behavior analysis or maybe another types of deep analysis like sandboxes or manual analysis by good reverse engineer or good malware analyst. But in most cases, it easily bypass static analysis and signature-based detections like Yara rules, Sigma rules, and anything else. So, but of course, there is a caveat about the Shannon entropy. What's the Shannon entropy in this case? Shannon entropy is the quantity of the information included in data, information and mathematical theory, the information theory. Entropy is a measure of the unpredictability of your data. It's also, the Shannon entropy is named after the famous mathematician Shannon Claude. Of course, note that if you have high entropy, Shannon entropy, it's having a file with a high entropy score can cause security solutions to flag the file, at least, or at the very least consider it suspicious and place additional screening, of course. Shannon entropy also, the simplest formula is this one. And you can easily create something simple in Python, for example, for just analysis and just for creating, for doing some research. For example, in this case, I just create a simple Python script. As you can see, it's the same as VirusTotal VirusTotal calculating entropy. Okay. How is going? What about comparing classic algorithms which I showed before? For example, RC4 or maybe XOR. First of all, for example, RC4 can be easily detected and easily reimplemented and easily used by without using Win API calls. For example, you not need to use crypt encrypt API or something like bcrypt API. You not need to call any suspicious Win API, so you not need to hide Win API calls by via obfuscating your calls for function names. You just need to hide your payload. But the problem is this algorithm, of course, is easy and well known, so nowadays it's easily detected by security solutions. Of course, any antivirus or ADRs easily detect this algorithm. But what about XOR or advanced encryption standard? This algorithm is also easily re-implemented in C, in C++, in Python and Golang, many open source libraries from GitHub. You can use it for encrypting anything, any data, even payload, even some malicious actions or your file. But the problem is the same. These algorithms well known and more complex security solutions and more complex and more clever security analysts like reverse engineers easily detect these algorithms. So I just ask myself, okay, well-known algorithms is not good for encrypting your payload today, but what about classic algorithms, which is not well-known, it's not famous like RC4, it's not famous like XOR. I just trying to get some encryption algorithms from Applied Cryptography book by Bruce Schneier. Cryptography. For example, some algorithms like Madryga, RC6, Skipjack, TINI encryption algorithm, XTINI encryption algorithm, and another algorithms from 17th and 19th. But what is the main goal of this research? how does this, using these algorithms, cryptography algorithms, is affect in Shannon entropy? It's increased or decreased? And what about VirusTotal score? What about Shannon entropy, and what about VirusTotal score? Okay. The first one is Twinny encryption algorithm. This algorithm is block cipher, which use 64-bit blocks for encryption algorithm, and use 128 K size for encrypt. So you need to divide your payload to blocks for encryption, for using this encryption. Of course, in this implementation in C, by me, I use just K size in 60 and 32 rounds for encrypt my payload. As a result, as you can see, the Shannon entropy is not so high. What does it mean? 6.28. If your Shannon entropy is greater than 7, it's detected as malicious immediately by some security solutions like Windows Defender or something else. But in this scenario, and another scenarios also, I use the most easy scenario. Just encrypt payload, not using any anti-VM or anti-disassembling techniques or anti-reverse engineering techniques in these cases. So, but even we have a good VirusTotal decreasing score, for example, from 32 to 84. It's not bad for it, and that's concluded that Twinny encryption algorithm is also used as a starting point for your for bypassing security solutions. The next one is Madryga algorithm in 1984, which was shared and also used as advanced encryption standard in USA, but after finding some issues and some bugs, security bugs in this algorithm, it's retired. But why we cannot use it for encrypting or payload? In this case, I just use 16 rounds, and using this case, just using this delta. Of course, you can ask. It's easily detected by something like IARA rules or something, another security solutions, by just finding this delta, of course. But even, as you can see, is also good result for Shannon entropy, not so high. And VirusTotal score also decreased from 31 to 17. It's also good result, and also you use as starting point for encrypting and adding another features like anti-VM, anti-disassembling, anti-reverse engineering tricks and features. The next one is Skipjack algorithm, which was released by National Security Agency in USA. It's also used in the competition for using as advanced encryption standard, and for standard encryption tool encryption algorithm in USA, but retired, and many years ago it also it's not patent as open source or some open algorithm. It's a closed algorithm, but also retired and unclassified by National Security Algorithm in 1998, as I know. So also reverse engineered by Paolo Barretta, and I just reimplemented it with some simple additions, adding some modifications, but basically it's a Paolo-Barrett modification, optimized by Paolo-Barrett implementation. And of course, as you can see in this case, also good result for Shannon entropy. You can use it. For as a starting point for encrypting your payload. The next one is RC6 algorithm. It's one more caveat in this case. As you can see, we use just P and Q prime numbers constants for this algorithm. But if you try to use different constants and different rounds, as you can see, the KLN and bit how many rounds you can use. If you use more rounds, more than 20, it's Shannon entropy highly increased in this case and easily detected immediately. But if you use this implementation with this case, these constants, it also can use for as starting point for encrypting your payload and malicious activity. The next one is the final one. The interesting case in this here, because this encryption, it's not used for protecting just data on machines or technicals. It's just using for encrypting GSM. It's a GSM standard, or using encrypting your communication between base stations and your mobile phone. So, but why we cannot use it for encrypting our payload? Of course, in this case also. As you can see, I also use simplest case and simplest implementation with round case and 0, 0, 0. And Shannon entropy is not so high, and it's good. It's good for us. If let's say we are try to evade security solution, and the VirusTotal score is also good, showing good result and decrease it. And I just in this case I just try to deep dive into this algorithm and deep dive to protecting my malware sample. And as a result, bypass this algorithm also bypass Kaspersky antivirus and some security solutions like Windows Defender in real case. It's really used in our pen test, one of our red team operations. So in practice, these algorithms also use it in real pen test and real red team operations. But of course, as I said before, you need to not only encrypt it with algorithm, you also use anti-VM and different protecting tricks like using time distortion, using obfuscating Win API strings and functions, adding some tricks like try to evade a virtual machine and sandboxes. What about full undetectable malware? Yes, the main question is it really to create, as I said, the previous slide? Yes, you can do it by these algorithms, any of these from during my research, any of these 4 or 5 classic algorithms. The main reason I think is using this, they are not so popular. So for full undetectably, you need to use legit C2 infrastructure like Telegram API. It's also I have a practical case used it Slack API and Discord API for stealing, for communicating, for sending commands. Of course, everything will need to encrypt it and obfuscate it. At least base 64 or base 58 also, for example. Of course, you need to divide payload. It's also a good trick, because sometimes if you use standard reverse shell payloads from something like MSF Venom from Metasploit in your red team operations. It's easily detected if you not divide it to blocks. But it's also good for encryption because, as I said before, some algorithms, for example, TINI encryption algorithm is a block algorithm, block cipher. So you need to divide your payload to blocks and then encrypt it. Of course, and use anti-VM and anti-debugging techniques like founding EasyDebugger present flags, anti-global flags, something like is being debugged flag also from parsing PA files, parsing your malware, and also good thing is hunting persistence mechanism, of course, because it's good. If you was in my workshop yesterday, I just showing some tricks anti bypassing security solutions like encryption, persistence, and so on. And what about for example, let's say that there's a full undetectable malware in this case. But what about ransomware? Okay, we can encrypt payloads, we can encrypt strings, we can encrypt everything in malware. But what about ransomware? Can we use these strange algorithms and classic encrypting for simulating ransomware attacks in real? But of course, during my research, I also trying to decrypt the Black Cat and Hello Kitty ransomwares, and because these encryptions are a little bit use same tricks, not using Win API, not using malicious, suspicious strings, also use same tricks as I said before. So try to simulate different ransomwares and reimplement it from Conti, Lake, and CopyKittens, and Black Cat ransomware. Okay. Encryption. In case of Hello Kitty use NTRU encrypt algorithm. It's just name of the library from GitHub. They used this strange library with various encryption algorithms and encryption reimplementation in C and assembly, of course. And so this one is little bit same modifications of advanced encryption standard, but as I said before, advanced encryption standard is well known, so easily detected sometimes, and they just a little bit modified for encrypting their victims. And another case is Black Cat ransomware. Is also use well-known algorithm, CHA-20. It's also used by malware actors and malware authors in their malicious actions. But it's also use same algorithm like AES. The only difference is they just replace Win API. It's the same like IS encryption and like CHA hashing, and they also use murmur hash 2A modification. And when you replace Win API functions, it's really decrease your detection score, really decrease your entropy sometimes. And really, when I try to research these cases during my career. The next one, of course, what about effectiveness and problems when we try to prevent this? Preventing and hacking ransomware algorithms, it's not so easy thing. And ransomware threats using another different tricks like deep dive into anti-debugging and some anti-reverse engineering tricks. So I try to help victims and decrypt files. Is it really easy or not? And there has been minimal research. Unfortunately, in the GitHub, in academic research, I just try to hunt new research about how we can use some results from academic professors and mathematicians and cryptographers, how we can try to decrypt file. But unfortunately, so there has been minimal research in the world in this case, for these cases. Okay, I just, during new research, okay, what is the methodology of the researchers? It's a simple, just using virtual machines like Windows 11 or 10 or Windows 7. Maybe I just using Linux in my future research during these interesting cases. Of course, dummy this virtual machine with different files, just in case something like docx, Excel, Microsoft, PDF files, zip files, MP4, CSV files, full them these virtual machines and try to encrypt it by ransomware. Of course, disable just in case for research purpose, of course, disable any security solutions like EDRs, and of course use legitimate C2s like Telegram API, as I said before, and compare. And finally compare it with no more ransom site. Try to decrypt some files from these cases. What's the results? Results, everything is very bad, but there is a trick. I just show later. Of course, the first issue is the hard math decryption, because it's pointless and labor intensive. Because sometimes if you use all supercomputers of around the world for decrypting some algorithms, it's not a good idea. Because you need to 1 million years for this. Of course, bad results. Best result is, in best scenario, is also less than 50%, and maybe less than 30%. It's so bad. And of course, we need to do a lot of work. We will need to research any new cases, and more complex algorithms, of course, need to be tested. As this methodology, maybe you need to another methodologies like combining some sandboxing and manual decrypting and some reverse engineering and trying to using some forensic tools like volatility and so on. As I said, there is a trick. What's the main idea of this trick? Let's say we try to decrypt. Yes. No, it's a bad idea, so we try to find a vulnerability in the ransomware. What does it mean? I just want to say, instead of decrypting too hard mathematical algorithms and try to decrypting some, in some cases, so impossible with your resources. So try to find vulnerability in ransomware architecture. And because ransomware is also application, as any application is written by people and written by stupid hackers sometimes. So try to find this. And in this case, we are doing research with my R&D in the WebSec company. So I think we try to more complex algorithms, and in some cases we will find some vulnerabilities in ransomwares, and after finished our research, it will be public paper. I think I hope it will be help for decrypting any ransomwares in the future. So thank you. It's a finish. And if you have any questions, you are welcome.
Thank you, Zhassulan. Thank you, Zhassulan. Okay, I think we have a question there. Let me just pass the mic there.
So I was just interested, how important or like how much would one you specifically suggest honing one's mathematical skills and reading on actual theory on cryptography and I know encryption to like being a good like ethical hacker, or is there some sort of workaround that you don't need to know this whole bulk of theory and you simply get to use the tools that some other people have written? What is like the middle line between this? Have you, for example, had to read on theory before, or have you gotten around to it?
Just sharing your knowledge, just sharing your any research by doing some good things. Traditional malware analysts use only reverse engineering and not try to reimplement some tricks as really hacker, because sometimes it's really helping when you, let's say you are a blue team. For example, in my case, I'm not offensive security specialist. I just mathematician, and traditionally I try to use reverse engineering skills, my reverse engineering skills to beating malwares and combating malwares. But in my case, I also have some software engineering experience, more than 10 years. So it's helping for reimplement some things, interesting things, and try to analyze it, try to research it. Mm-hmm. So I hope it will be helpful for any who need to analyze malware and try to decrypt ransomwares, maybe.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Any other question? No. Zhassulan, thanks so much. That was very insightful presentation.